homestead. Do we have anyone watching us right now? If you can hear us.
Which the camera can get?
Not like this.
Yeah.
Huh.
You love birds.
So, supposed to be pretty this week. Good for the gardens. But the pollen's going to be out.
And me and James has been busy in the garden. And Jamie.
Oh.
Somebody's on it. Who's on it?
Josie?
Well, we got a lot of stuff going on, it sounds like. There goes the fire truck.
Fire and ambulances. Always say a prayer when you hear things like that. Josie says she's going to be working till 9 tonight. Bless your heart.
Well, at least you got a job to work. I remember times I didn't have a job. Boy, we struggled to get by.
I tell you what, we this is no joke. We went to the grocery store today, and I'm telling you, everything is absolutely outrageous. Everything's raised anywhere between $1 to $3, and some things is even doubled.
You know what? I don't have no crystal ball, so I don't know what the future holds. But I do know that with food, there's going to be one of two things. Either the supply of food's not going to be what we want it to be, or just like right now, there's going to be food, but it's just going to be so expensive we can't afford to buy it.
That's the truth. Everything's so expensive. Even our canning jars and stuff around here has raised to probably, I would say at least probably $4 to $5 on a dozen they've raised. And that's just unreal. Unreal. It's getting to the point where it's going to be hard for people to put things up because everything's getting so expensive to even do it with.
I think last year we had a problem getting canning lids.
We did. Everything you found was Chinese, Japanese brand, and they just wouldn't seal. I always like to go with either Kerr or Ball. It's the two that I like to go with. But anyway, my sister-in-law Peggy sent me a lot of seeds this week, and anyway, I'm looking forward to getting them in the ground. And we found a place around here too that also sold Pro Mix. And I'm going to tell you something, Pro Mix is better than anything that I have seen to plant with your seeds. I mean, everything just grows in abundance. But anyway, what would you like to talk about?
Well, I got my beans planted, finished planting my beans this week.
And went through that hive of bees, James did, that he found out here in this tree. And needless to say, it is working so hard, and they're collecting Lynn honey. And we've had to go today and get another hive body to put on it because the queen's actually running out of room.
Yeah, they're putting back the honey. They're honey bounding the queen, so I had to do something with that. So we got us another hive body and got some more frames and foundation to put in there and give them more room because the poplar hasn't even started flowing yet. And that's one of our biggest honey producers. And when it starts flowing, they're going to need someplace to put all that. And I figure, well, why not make some new honeycomb with it and fill it up?
And I tell you what, and I'm one of those people that I like the comb in the honey. And anymore, these frames and stuff that you're buying, they're black and they're hard plastic, and you can't make cone honey out of it.
No. And when I went and got that box and them frames today, I was wanting to buy some wax foundation for my supers. That way I could make some comb honey. I couldn't find any wax foundation at all.
And stuff has just went up abundantly. It really has. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, our hydroponic stuff, our peas are producing like crazy. Lettuce, romaine, we've been giving it away to neighbors and everybody else because we've got so much. And strawberries are producing. Those strawberries that me and Jamie just put out, they're producing really good. None right, but we've got plenty of green strawberries. And carrots are growing in abundance. So, I mean,
I don't know what's going on, but something's going on.
they went to sheriff's department. So I bet it's been a wreck. We have on this little road here that we live, you wouldn't think that, I mean, it's a truck route, but you wouldn't think that there would be that many accidents. But I'm telling you the truth, people get killed on this road all the time. And it's crazy. But
That's some of our peas. We've been eating them. Kids has been eating them.
I was going to say, Bill's been eating them. Money, that's what he wants for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But anyway, I hope everybody's getting a garden put out. I really do. And
yeah, that's the only way we're going to fight this inflation is food prices are just ridiculous.
And I hope everybody's prepping too. I hope you're trying to put a little bit back. Luckily, we got started putting a little bit back before all these prices just went skyrocketing. But anyway, we have got a bread store. We've got a bakery down here around us. And, used to be you could go in there and you could get everything from bread to lunch cakes to jellies, anything. And it was really, really cheap. I mean, really cheap. And anyway, I went in there today. And I'm telling you, this wholesale place is more expensive than Walmart. And most of their stuff, I mean, it's just really, it's a bakery. It's off brand and it's not that fresh either. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, they was wanting, I think maybe like $1.89 for one lunch cake and stuff like that. Used to be you could get a whole box for that price. Now they're wanting it for one. I mean, it's just crazy.
I'll tell you, somebody said something about the store-bought groceries and stuff, and I'll agree with them. I've always thought that the stuff you buy at the store when you eat, I've always thought it causes cancer, and I still to this day believe it does. I don't think it's the food. I think it's what they put in it to make its shelf life last longer. The preservatives. See, when you're raising your own stuff, you don't have preservatives or anything in it. The only way you preserve it would be put it in a jar and cook it, or however you fix it when you're canning. Maybe you got a little salt in there, and if you're pickling, some vinegar. But the stuff you put in, it's natural. This stuff that they put in at the stores on the stuff, it ain't natural. And I told somebody once, I said, you can take a fresh hog, the ham off of it, go to the store and buy a ham, and you can lay both them hams up on the counter, and that fresh ham will go bad before that store-bought ham will. Now, the hams both come off hogs. And the one in the store, it's hard to tell how old it was before it even made it to the store. But they treat it with so much stuff to preserve that meat that's kind of unnatural. It ain't like they just smoked it or just sugar cured it. or salt cured it. And that's another thing my family used to do. They used to have a block house, and inside there they'd take their meats in the fall of the year, and they would salt cure it. But that stuff's all natural. This stuff they're putting in there is lab made stuff that they do, and I think when you eat it, you eat enough of it, it causes cancer. That's what I believe.
Well, I just read too the other day on all these different food colorings like red, blue, green, yellow, whatever. How it is causing your kids to be sick, and how it's causing even behavioral disorders. And I mean, it's something. I mean, we really need to get back to pure. Just like even our hummingbirds. If we make hummingbird food, we do not put no red food coloring or anything like that on it. And but anyway, too, me and James, we had went to a place that when we drove semi to pick up hog meat.
Phew.
And let me tell you something. These hogs was in these huge, and after they killed them, they had like halved them or quartered them, and they had put them in these big, huge boxes. I mean, it was big as a pallet on the bottom. But this thing went probably, what would you say, about 4 feet high? I would say at least 4 foot high. And they would just throw that hog, when they kill it, it's going to be hot. You know what I'm saying? They would just throw them down that box.
It's all cut up, your hands, shoulders, all that stuff. They just filled that box full.
But they was only quartered it.
Yeah.
They halved it or quartered it. They weren't nothing cut up. And they would just throw it down that box. Well, and then they would stack all them boxes on top of one another and stuff. Well, good and well how long it's going to take that to freeze or chill on the inside of the boxes, especially when they're in the center of a 52-foot trailer. We went there, and this is no joke. The blood was dripping out of the bottom of them.
Yeah, it was running out of the back of underneath the doors out of the back of the trailer.
And this is no joke. Maggots were flowing from there. And those maggots, I am not joking you people, they was probably in a mound that high. And I said, and this stuff was FDA approved. Sure was. And we was taking it were we taking it to the border?
No, I think we picked up in Kentucky or someplace, and we went to California.
California.
Because we'd take meats to California, and then from California we'd bring back fruits and stuff.
Fruits and vegetables. But anyway, and that's just like, this one restaurant, I'm not going to use the name, this one restaurant, they say, was raised on the farm. Their trucks would be sitting there, their trailers would, picking up at the same place.
How was that on the oranges? It never did make sense to me. We either picked the oranges up in Florida and hauled them to California, and they'd squeeze them in California and put them in containers. Then we'd haul them from California back to Florida. It just didn't make sense. Or it was the opposite way, hauled from California to Florida and back. But why not have a processing facility right there in the same state as you're picking the oranges?
Yeah.
And do it all right there. It just don't make sense what they do.
We'd haul it. We would haul it. I think it was hauling from California to Florida, having it squeezed, and then turn around and go back.
That way they can say it's Florida squeezed
orange juice. We have got Mr. Worldwide. Hello, Mr. Worldwide. I am so glad you could join us. And hello to everybody else that's out there that we have not seen. And Mr. Worldwide, where are you from? If you don't mind me asking. But anyway, it was silly how many miles that those trucks was having to pick those oranges and up and take them to just have them squeezed and then turn around taking them back.
But anytime you hear this about this or that about that, always check the facts. Always make sure, because you hear a lot of conspiracies. What people think, but there's no facts to back what they're thinking. But then again, later on, you find out some of these conspiracies finally get facts to back them.
Mm-hmm.
But until you get the facts to back them, I kind of just listen, but use your own common sense to how much you think it really is, or if it's really real or not. But the food shortage. Yes, we had some food shortage back when this pandemic happened, but it ain't like it's something major at the store that I can see of around here. I mean, you might have a little shortage of this or a little shortage of that, but
Well, I know still was running a little short on eggs today.
yeah, the eggs was a little
The
short.
eggs.
But then that makes common sense. If they've killed off all them laying hens and that laid the eggs, yeah, you're going to have some shortage in eggs. But like I said, either we're going to have a food shortage, or food's going to get so expensive we can't afford it.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Food's just going to get so expensive.
And the prices I seen today, how much was that little bag of chips I showed you that I used to buy when I was younger?
I think it was like $3.49. I thought
it was $2 something or $3 something.
I thought it was $3 something.
But anyway, I looked at that when we was getting ready to check out. And I told her, I said, when I was a young teenager, I said I used to go buy them. Them's the very ones I buy and eat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd usually buy a 16-ounce bottle of pop to go with that little bag of chips. I paid a nickel. Now, I'm either real old or this stuff has went up fast. I paid a nickel for the pop, and I paid a nickel for the bag of chips. I had a dime in it. That bag of chips alone was $2 or $3 now. And I don't know. It just keeps going up, up, up. I remember, now I like eating those, what's them little pies? I can't think of the name of them. Anyway, it's at Walmart. You can buy these little chicken pot pies or the beef pot pies. And I can't think of the name of them right now. But back when I bought them, it was like 88 cents a pie.
The chicken pot pies.
And today I look, I mean, it's been a long time since I bought any, but I thought, well, I'm going to look at them and see what the price is. I looked at them. They're what? $1. I forget what it was now. It was over $1. And it's like the inflation they're telling us is what it is. It's a lot higher than what they're saying. Yeah. A lot higher. And this what people don't understand is if inflation today is running 10% from last month, that means for every dollar it now costs you $1.10.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait a minute. Let me rephrase that to make it easier. Let's say something's $1 and it went down to 90 cents. You lost 10 cents, right? In other words, it's 10 cents cheaper. So if it goes up 10%, now think about it, it went down 10%, so it made it 90 cents. Now, if it goes back up 10%, people think, well, it went back up the same price. No, it's 99 cents now because it's 10% of 90, not 10% of $1 again. It's the same way with inflation right now. It goes up so much last month and the month before it went up. I don't care if they look at me and tell me, okay, we got it down to 2%. It's only 2% for last month. Yep, that's 2% on top of whatever the percentage was that it already went up. In other words, it's not getting cheaper. It's still getting higher and higher, even at 2%. They got to go into negative in order for it to start coming back down from the highs that it was.
Oh, I've got a question too. Are you all paying attention on the seeds that you buy to make sure you're buying heirloom seeds? And also, are you making sure they're not GMO seeds? Because I'm going to tell you what I did. I bought some I bought some jalapeno seeds, all from uh, tomato growers back. It's been about 2 years ago, and they were the prettiest things you've ever seen. I mean, I canned them like you would not believe. I had made the what they call cowboy candy, and I had put pineapples and garlic and stuff like that in it, lemon juice. I mean, it was really good. Made a heavy syrup on them, and I had soaked them in the lime, which makes them crunchy, and rinsed them real good. But anyway, I had saved the seeds from them. And I know last year I had planted and planted and planted and planted, kept replanting them things. They would not come up. Not a one would come up. And come to find it out, those were GMO seeds. So from here on out, everything that I buy is either organic or non-GMO.
Well, GMO stands for genetically modified. Okay. And a lot of them seeds are genetically modified to give you the plant that you would desire, but the genes in it will not let the seed be able to be resprouted. So you got to buy the seeds year after year after year. Monsanto's and all them, that's the kind of seeds that they like putting out. That way the farmer can't save seed, because if he did, it ain't going to come up. So he's got to buy for the next year off them. And then they got it also genetically modified to a certain insecticide, so that they can use that, or a certain to kill weeds, so that it don't kill that corn. So I don't like genetically modified stuff.
I don't either.
Now, you can get hybrid stuff. Hybrid's different than genetically modified. Hybrid means that they take one type of plant and bred with another type of plant and took that seed, and now you've got a hybrid. Okay, you can replant hybrid seeds. You can raise whatever it is, and you can replant those seeds. You just don't know exactly what you're going to get. It could be one of, or it could be of one or the other parents of that seed that you planted to begin with, or a mixture.
But I'm going to tell you what, though, those that I planted that was GMO seeds, I'm telling you the truth, they was the prettiest plants you've ever laid your eyes on, and they produced in abundance. They did. And I mean, they was just, they bared the prettiest peppers you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, and as if the economy's not bad enough with the inflation. Now we're running down to the line on this debt ceiling, and you know, if you got money coming into your home from your payday or what have you, and you're living off from that, it just don't make sense. I mean, anybody trying to run a household, it don't make sense to spend more than what comes into your home. In other words, go in debt that much more. And then, just like the government, if we keep going in debt like we're doing, we're getting in a hole so deep that the interest, just paying the interest alone on that money we borrowed, is going to be devastating. I mean, if it gets up to our GDP, which is our gross domestic product, that's how much money that America makes in the year. The government collects some taxes in a year. If we get to the point that the interest is more than that, we're hurting, because we ain't got no more money. The only way they can fix that in their minds, politicians' minds, let's just tax the people more. You know, you can't keep going in that direction. You got to start paying your bills eventually. And a lot of people don't like hearing that, and it's not very popular. But you know, I can see a lot if we default on our debt and stuff, and the debt ceiling's not passed. I can see the economy slowing down. I can see people becoming unemployed. Your states get a lot of their money from the government, and a lot of the programs the states gets or takes care of they're going to have to stop them programs because they can't get the money for that. I mean, it's going to snowball pretty big. And if people ain't careful, liable end up just like the Great Depression, maybe even worse this time because we got more people that need to be fed, more people that need a place to live. And the rent prices and stuff's all going up.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the groceries. I mean, when I went to the store, I couldn't believe prices on some of these groceries. Normally, I don't go in. Normally, I let her go in.
Normally, he will sit in the car.
And but I got curious as to how much that stuff has went up. And I went through there looking, and it's like, well, they had plenty of stuff, but the prices on that stuff, wow, unbelievable.
Well, I'm going to tell you this too. We had went to a place today too, and I had asked about their bag of Pro Mix, that we use to plant our seeds, and we had been getting at just one place for $30. I think it was about $30. Well, we went today, and I asked how much, if they had Pro Mix. They said, Jenn, I asked how much it was. How much did she say that was? It's $40 some. $40 Time you pay tax on it, probably been about $50 a bag. A bag. Now that means it was right about almost $20 higher than the place that we've been buying it at.
Well, that's just like our electric bill.
Oh my
our
God.
electric bill. We used 1,600 kilowatt hours. Okay. Now, any of you all know and keep up with that. That's your monthly bill. How much you use through that month.
Right.
And 1,600 kilowatt hours. And normally for 1,600 kilowatt hours, we used to pay, if I'm not mistaken, I could probably look back on the bills and see, I think about $80 or $90 for that month on 1,600 kilowatt hours. I couldn't believe it. I looked at that bill. It's $400.
Yes.
That's 4 times. That's 400% increase.
Yeah.
And they're trying to tell us, it only went up 4.9% last. No, I don't believe any of that the government's telling us, because I'm telling you right now, it is that ridiculous. And unless something changes, how are people going to be able to afford this?
We was charged I think it was a transmission fee.
Yeah, this is a transmission fee, and I've never been charged that, at any other time.
Yeah.
Usually, no. At this house, yes.
At this house,
but
yes.
not any other time.
Right.
Usually they'll give you your usage and your tax and all that. But I was looking at it today, and they're charging us for delivering it to us is more or less what they're charging us for.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're charging us for how much it costs for that 1,600 kilowatt hours. Well, I got to looking at it. What I'm paying for 1,600 kilowatt hours, the charge they're bringing to bring it to my house, they're charging half of that more to put onto the bill.
Yep.
It just don't make sense.
They're charging you when it goes through the substation. And I mean, it's just awful.
The far left is got this Green Deal thing, and they want to go with electricity made from something else besides coal or gas. But let me tell you something, it's going to be hard for them to produce any other way.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to just raise our bills out of the blue, I mean, nothing really has changed right now. They're still making a lot of the gas at the same plants out of natural gas. And so it's costing about the same, maybe a little bit more, but it ain't no 4 times more. It ain't costing them 400% to make the same amount of electricity. So then you got this greed game that comes in. People start getting greedy. It's like, we can just say that, our cost has went up, so we had to raise the bills. Now it's starting to even the greed's kicking in. People are getting greedy to get more money, and they're hitting everybody. And I think our federal government ought to step in about price gouging people. That's what I think. I think our government should be concerned about us not the green deal. Us, the people. That's what we put them in there for. I don't need somebody put in there to think for me, to tell me when to take a breath, when to take a drink of water. I can do that myself. Okay? Uh, Telling business owners what they can sell and what they can't sell, that ain't right. That's the government overreach. And I just don't know what's going to come down to this. I mean,
it's coming to a sad situation. It really is. Just like the Bible says, the poor is going to get poorer and the rich is going to get richer.
and that's how they get richer. Is they take it from the poor.
And well, yeah.
We need a Robin Hood. That's what we need. We need a Robin Hood. We need Robin Hood to go rob off the rich and give to the poor.
Well, I could say something too, but better not, probably get in trouble.
I don't know where everybody is tonight.
Well, there's people on that just ain't commenting, which is fine. Because we have.
Well, if I'm saying something that bothers you, just tell me and I'll change it to something else.
No, we won't.
This is live.
No, we won't. He'll voice his opinion right on.
I ain't that bad.
Maybe. I'll live with you.
You sure you ain't talking about yourself?
Maybe. Got the yin and yang. Oh, goodness.
It's supposed to be nice all this week, so maybe everybody can get things done.
Oh, excuse me.
It's 20.
But anyway,
well, do you all have anything you want to talk about? If not, maybe we'll cut this one short tonight.
probably. I think we should.
So pretty, everybody's outside.
I've got a lot of things I need to do too. So. I ask the people, I'm going to tell you something. I stay busy. I stay so busy, it ain't funny.
But any of you all that watch this video, even if it's after the live stream, do you agree with me about these prices and about the government, about people price gouging? And I mean, it's just something's got to come to a head here. It's
getting ridiculous.
I hear some of these people living on a Social Security check, and they only draw like $700 or $800 a month. Sometimes I worry, how in the world? That's about what it would cost you in rent in some of the cheapest places, and that would leave you nothing left to buy groceries. That'd leave you nothing left to pay your electric bill and stuff with.
I'm gonna tell you what, we have one of our viewers, and she was talking to me one day, and she said, not only is her parents had to move in with her because they just couldn't afford it, but also her grandparents. There's three generations living in her house. And she said, just like the parents and the grandparents, they feel totally horrible because, they feel like they're a burden upon her and that they should have their own place and can make it on their own and stuff like that, other than them having to move in with her and stuff. But I'm going to tell you something, people. It's getting to that point to where families are going to really have to come together and help one another. I mean, it really is.
Well, that's the way it used to be. It was a lot of families had to live together.
They did.
It just so they couldn't afford 2 or 3 different houses.
Some of my family, yes. Some of them, oh no. But anyway, most of my family are good people.
But they all helped one another, so
they did.
That made a big difference.
They did.
Now, it's different if they just come in and sit down on their butt and you got to do everything for them. Oh, boy, that would be rough.
Well, that was what we was talking about on last Monday. We was talking about was how, the old timers and stuff like that would raise tons of tons of vegetables and stuff like that, and they would distribute it, among the community. and the community what they like. If somebody else's tomatoes done good, and somebody else's peppers done good, or what have you, then they would switch back and forth. And even your widows and stuff like that couldn't afford to raise a garden. Well, they couldn't raise a garden because they just elderly and didn't have no help. They would even take and give them stuff. I mean, it was, communities helped
Yeah,
one
but
another.
back then,
Now it seems like communities do nothing but try to cut one another's stuff.
parents, grandparents, and children all helped in the garden.
They did.
They all helped peel apples and cut up apples. I mean,
I remember those days.
breaking beans, stringing beans. They all helped. They'd all sit down and they'd talk, maybe even sing some gospel music together, and while they're stringing beans and stuff.
We had a big, huge maple tree up underneath our yard. Not in our yard, and everything was huge. And it had a perfect shade. And I could remember green beans and corn, and even Dad going and killing probably 75 chickens at one time during the fall and stuff. I mean, we just, that was where we all met. That's where we all met and stuff like that. And I mean, it's coming back to that. I really do believe, people, because if they don't, people are going to starve. And even people in your cities, if they can find a window or a balcony porch or whatever that they can grow tomatoes or whatever on, I mean, you're better off doing that than you are doing without, because every little bit's going to help. Every little bit that you grow is going to help you from having to buy from the grocery store.
Yeah. And if there's more people growing, and I do see a few new gardens this year.
Yeah.
The more people grow, the more you're going to hurt these stores. They ain't going to sell that much more. So they're going to have to come down in prices. If enough people start growing their own food, they'll have to bring in prices back down.
Well, we have people here too. When we're out there working our garden, they'll pull over to one of the driveways, stop, and come over and talk to us. And and just get our input on stuff. And I mean, and that's what people need. That's what they need. And like I said, if you can only, even the people that can afford only a package of seeds of some sort, get them and put them in a pot and set them out somewhere. I mean, they'll produce.
Well, I guess we better wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, people, we're glad you come on here to view us. Couple old country folk here. We love associating with other country folk, even city folk. We like learning people stuff.
Yep.
And at one time we didn't know how to do it, so we had to learn someplace along the road. And it's a good time to start learning.
My dad had me in the garden when I was 3. 3. He always told me. He said, if you learn how to do it, he said, it'll keep you from starving one day.
Just like that old saying, you can teach him or hand a man a fish and feed him for the day. If you teach him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime.
That's like our
same way with a garden. Yeah, you can feed people out of your garden. They can eat for that day. But if you teach them how to garden, they can eat for a lifetime.
Out of our 3 grandbabies here, we've got one that takes no interest whatsoever. She could care less. But we've got the 2 youngest ones. And I mean to tell you, they love the animals. They love gardening. I mean, they just get the biggest thrill out of it ever was. And they don't sit in the house with video games and stuff either.
No.
They're out playing.
Man, when it comes summertime, when I was little, I stayed outside.
But anyway, I would like to thank everybody that just came to join us. And I pray that you have a blessed week down through this week. And pray for those that around you. Pray for our country. A lot of people in need.
Yep.
And just thank you. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And just keep us also in your prayers. And I think me and James will wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, I'm kind of tuckered out today.
I'm tired too. I've been sitting here trying to keep from yawning. That's just rude. So,
well, anyway, we're going to wrap it up. I hope you all enjoyed if you got any comments to make on what we've discussed here tonight, put them down in the comments. We'll read your comments. But anyway, this is James.
And this is Jenn.
And thanks for coming. This is Living Gardens Homestead. Goodbye.